G'day YouTube viewer, g'day bikers. In today's ride on the last model Suzuki DR650 ever available new in Australia, we're heading south on the Bridle Track located between Bathurst and Mudgee in Central West New South Wales. I'm starting from Hill End, which is an old gold mining town from the 1850s, which went on to become an artistic hub a century later. Riding or driving around today, it is hard to imagine it was once one of the largest inland towns in New South Wales, with 7,000 people, mostly miners, and 54 pubs following the discovery of alluvial and reef gold in 1851. The few buildings that remain are regarded for being well-preserved Australian gold rush architecture, and there's a museum with around 10,000 artefacts from 170 years ago. 21 years after gold was discovered, the largest specimen ever found, known as the Halterman Nugget, was unearthed in 1872. Now, if you're only doing the north to south journey of the Bridle Track, like I'm showing today, you will probably travel through Sally's Flat on Hill End Road from Sofala in the east. That's around 36 kilometres away. That's where gold was also discovered by Edward Hargraves at Summerhill Creek in 1851. It is regarded as Australia's oldest surviving gold rush town. The gold rush at that town, located on the Turon River, which we will also cross near the start of today's ride, saw the population of that town grow to 40,000 people, including many Chinese and European miners who mostly lived in a tent city, and supported many businesses including 51 hotels. Mining finally ceased at Sofala in 1948, some 97 years after it began. It is now a small village of around 200 people and still retains many buildings regarded as being great examples of 19th century architecture. They include the original Gold Commissioner's House. We started today's ride from the large warning sign four-wheel drivers and bikers are encouraged to read before embarking on their journey that features around 35 kilometres of what is now a well-maintained gravel road, but it is narrow and single lane in many areas. As you can see, we are making a steep 8-kilometre descent on a track with no guardrails down to the Turon River crossing, which we follow for the first part of our journey, where the spectacular views begin. As you just saw, you need to be careful of traffic coming the other way, as there is little room to pass each other. Much easier if you're on a bike, but you do need to be careful of blind corners. I remained spoilt for choice and didn't know which way to look to see the best scenery the entire route, which is why it is so great to be able to ride it in both directions. Less than halfway along, we descend a new 2-kilometre section of road at Monaghan's Gap, constructed after a major landslide blocked and closed the Bridle Track in 2010 for more than a decade. It only reopened in 2023. The Bridle Track is now arguably more popular than ever with four-wheel drivers, campers and adventure bike and dual sport motorcycle riders. You can no longer access the original narrow cliffside section of track by vehicle. The new road is located above the hazardous area and provides fantastic views north, south and west, and you can see much of the route you pass through from the elevated vantage points along the way. You can also see where the two rivers join and the many camping spots dotted along the way on both sides of each waterway. Would have been one of the sections where miners demounted their horses to lead them by the bridle through such a narrow, treacherous section as they travel between Hill End and Bathurst. And that's where this trail gets its name. The track, with its loose sandy dirt surface and many small rocks, along with the occasional boulders that have rolled down many of the steep hills we traverse, then meanders along next to the Macquarie River for around 20 kilometres until you cross a cattle ramp and start veering away. The entire journey from Hill End to Bathurst is around 68 kilometres according to my bike's odometer, with just over half of that being on dirt. The road to and from the Bridle Track on the southern side is well signposted. When I travelled north earlier in the day, I didn't need any assistance. It was just getting onto the right road out of Bathurst that was a little tricky, but I was fortunate to be able to wing it first go. If you intend to stay in the Bathurst region for several days, there are many other great dirt roads and tracks in the area, and good accommodation to stay in, including great camping spots and historic hotels. I hope you enjoyed this video and the ride. I did take 360-degree footage of most of the route, and will produce something on this channel with that in the near future, just to give you another perspective. If you have any suggestions for other great rides in the area, please leave them in the comment section below so other bikers can read them. Thanks for watching this video. If you thought it was okay, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, subscribing to the channel will alert you to more of my reviews, rides and adventures. Until next time, happy motorcycling! Have a great day.